Today we're going to make a flourless chocolate decadence cake, which is a rich and deeply chocolatey cake that has no nut flour and no regular flour, and is just super tender and moist and almost like the fudgy brownie, but cake. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and click the bell icon to be notified every time I'm posting a new and delicious recipe. Let's get into it. Chocolate decadence. Lots of steps. Not going to pretend like this is like super, there's some things that need to be done. But that's okay. It's worth it. So in a pot, we are going to combine our heavy cream and about half of our sugar. So about half. Just going to stir it together, and we are going to bring this to a boil. And we're going to like stir it every now and again and make sure that the sugar is like dissolving and doing good things. So pop it over here, and then we're going to kind of continue on. So the rest of the sugar is going to go with our eggs over here. We're not there yet. I've got semi-sweet chocolate. You can use chocolate chips if you'd like. And then I also am going to chop a bit of unsweetened chocolate. So this is Baker's chocolate. I just find it easier to chop chocolate on parchment because that way you can pick up the parchment and your chocolate kind of comes with you. So we're just going to do a couple. It's not that serious. We're going to melt it with the hot cream mixture, so it's, we just want it to give it a head start. Take your chocolate, put it in the bowl. Okay, my cream is boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and add my butter at this moment. You're like, what? I know, it's weird. Just do it. And we're just going to allow this to melt as well. So I've got a 9-inch here. You can use a 10-inch. You can also use a springform pan if you'd like to release it faster, but don't forget that you're going to need to line the outside with foil because we are going to bake this in a water bath. So go ahead and get yourself a piece of parchment, line outside your pan. And then we're going to cut inside the parchment because I'm sure, as you've heard me say a million times, we're going to cut inside the circle because we traced the outside of the pan and we would like to line inside the pan. So logic would tell us that that would be a prudent move. And also Sharpie is disgusting and poisonous. So snip, snip, snip. Sweet. Get yourself non-cooking spray. You can butter the pan if you like. I'm going to spray the whole thing very well, okay? This is one of those cakes that doesn't want to come out. Again, if you want to springform it, that's your prerogative. So, done. Now, checking our butter over here. It's still not, there's still a few lingering pieces, so we definitely want to have that be melted. And then I'm just going to bring it up to a boil one more time before I pour it on my chocolate, because this is a lot of chocolate and we're asking a lot of this cream and sugar mixture. So I want to make sure that it all melts. Okay, here it has come to a boil. I'm going to put my chocolate on a towel to keep it warm longer, and then I'm going to pour this all over the top. This isn't truly a ganache because there's a whole lot of butter in here. So you can have a butter ganache, but usually it's just a little bit of butter and not like a whole stick. So go ahead and I like to just cover the whole thing, and then we're going to let it do its thing right there. And now we are going to fill this with boiling water, so I'm going to go ahead and pop some water on. You could use just hot water, that's fine too. It's all going to be good. All right. Go ahead and poke your whisk in there, see if it's been melted. If you don't feel any resistance, then you're probably good. Just go ahead and start whisking like you're making ganache. It's still going to come together like a ganache. It's just going to be like 50% butter. the hardest part of this whole thing is we have to let this cool. I know. You don't want to be pouring boiling hot chocolate into your eggs. You don't want any sort of sad egg moments this morning. So go ahead and set that to the side. It's actually not that hot right now, so we are probably in a good spot. If I wanted, I could pop it in the fridge. It's actually almost really in a great place. It tastes great. So, since our chocolate has behaved itself, and it is, you know, it's approaching room temperature or body temperature, so I'm feeling good about that. I'm going to go ahead and take the bowl of a stand mixer. You can do this as a hand mixer as well. I've got my eggs. I'm going to kind of break them up first, and then I'm going to add my sugar. Just go ahead and give them a nice whisk. Dope, chilling on the side. Okay. Now, I'm going to add my sugar and my salt. You could put your salt in that mixture too. Doesn't matter. Wherever you remember to add it. That's the best part. Alright, so go ahead and beat this up. Now we're gonna beat this to about double in volume until it's light and pale yellow and fluffy. It's gonna make a lighter flourless chocolate cake, which is, in my opinion, desirable. If you don't want it to be that light and fluffy, then you're just gonna take it to, you know, just double, and it's not gonna be quite as pale yellow. It's not gonna be like light as that. You know, right about now they're about double. I'm going to take them to about triple in volume because they're pretty pale yellow. If you want a denser cake, then this is kind of where you'll stop your eggs. Alright. So they are. Look at those. They're not quite to ribbon stage, so they're not quite where you can kind of draw a line and it'll hold a ribbon. But they are triple in volume. They're light pale yellow. They are lovely. And now we're going to fold the two together. So we are going to start by just kind of adding our chocolate to our egg mixture and giving that a fold. These are like two very unlike things, so they're not going to want to be best friends right away. But we'll give them, you know, ample time. Okay, a little bit more. Just keep going. It's not as bad as angel food cake, so we're good. Alright, this is the last addition. I'm going to go ahead and scrape all of this chocolate out, get all of this in there. Now this is obviously a flourless chocolate cake without any sort of almond flour or nut flour, which is really decadent. I of course have a hazelnut flourless chocolate cake up there if you like that. But chocolate decadence ready for the pan. I'm just going to go ahead and pour this straight in here. Yeah, look at that. Get that batter in there. Lovely. Now, we are going to take this pan, we're going to place it in a larger kind of rectangular baking dish or roasting pan. I've got this water which was just boiling a minute ago, and I'm going to pour that in as soon as I put it in the oven. So I'm not going to be carrying boiling water in a pan. No. No. Safety first. Oven has been preheated to 350 degrees, and let's do this. Now it's going to bake probably close to an hour, so I'm going to check it in about 30 minutes. I'm not going to be like, you know, all up in its business because I know she's not done. So in 30 minutes I'm going to start checking and we'll see where it's at. Now, our cake is out and it cooked about 30 minutes. I had my oven at 350 convection rather than 350 regular, and so it cooked about 20 minutes faster than it was expected to. Oh, it's just totally fine, and I'm here for it. So we unfortunately need to let this cool, and then we are going to refrigerate it so that we can get it out of the pan. I know. So, to cooling. Okay, our cake is cool. Before I put it in the refrigerator, I ran a small offset around the outside to try and free it from the sides to make it just a little bit easier to get out. Of course, a springform pan would be a lot easier, but here we are. You can dip it in hot water, but I'm actually going to hit it with a blowtorch. Same difference, but this is faster. So, you just have to be very careful. Definitely want to get the bottom and not your finger. The idea is to loosen some of that butter, because you remember how much butter we put in this cake? Like a lot. So you want to loosen some of that butter and just kind of start to free it. It should melt a little bit on the sides, just enough to kind of let it fall out. And if not, we'll pry it out. All right, so I'm gonna flip it onto parchment. Oh, bad news, guys. Okay. Every time I make this cake, I do the same thing. And I'm like, I really should learn from my mistakes. She hot. Okay, let's try again, shall we? It's really hot. I'm like waiting for that release. Oh! Ta-da! Here she is! Yes, we melted enough of her butter to let her release it. Parchment off. She did her job. And now we're going to flip it back onto your favorite cake stand of the day, which is this today, apparently, for me. Okay. Was this the best plan for flipping? No. No, it's not. But it worked. All right. We've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. And we're feeling pretty dang good that we didn't have to pry it out. Yep. Okay, I got my hot water here, my knife, and I'm ready to go. Now you can serve this cake either cold or room temperature. You can even warm it up, whatever your heart desires. That's what you should do. You can see where I poked it with the cake tester, just to make sure it came out clean. Wow, it's a hefty slice that I'm slicing for myself here. Okay. Maybe I should rethink that slice. That'd be kind of cute. Okay, I'm gonna slice it in half. Better judgment got the best of me. I really just wanted to cover up that hole. This cake is so rich. Like, I can't even describe to you how rich this cake is. I mean, I'm gonna try in a minute, but I've done it. I've sliced the world's tiniest slice from the world's largest slice. I don't know what happened today. I'm not here to explain myself. Okay. Oh, it's like super soft, like luscious and soft in there, you can see, but then there's like this harder, like crispier top. Yeah, it's the good stuff right here. You know, that rich, creamy inside and that crunchy top that like contrasted beautifully. And it's like silky smooth and like melts in your mouth. It's like fudgy. It's almost like the center of a fudgy brownie that's just perfectly baked, but flourless.